Hey, good afternoon, New World News. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to take a minute to talk about a story from across the pond over in good old Cheerio, London, England, and that is Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee. She has been the queen in charge over there, not really in charge, but the queen of England for 70 years. That's 7-0. That's since 1953. She ascended the throne, and she's been queen ever since, and she has lived her life to the fullest, and they're celebrating that all weekend long until Sunday tomorrow, which they're sleeping. It should be overnight sleeping right now, getting prepared for that day. But 70 years, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. It's never happened. Probably won't happen again in our lifetimes, obviously, or in how many more lifetimes. But yeah, so the Queen celebrating 70 years. Go Queen Elizabeth. Get it, get it. Anyways, let's go over and check out her celebrations and her parties, and also a little bit of bad news from the Queen's side of things and her absence at a few of these events. Okay, this part of the story out of the New York Times. Throngs of admirers cheered Queen Elizabeth II at her Platinum Jubilee appearance on Thursday, but she was unable to attend a service on Friday and now also on Saturday/Sunday. Prince Charles, in a familiar role, played the understudy. So Jubilee is honoring Britain's queen, but also highlights her increasing absences. So the Queen Elizabeth Platinum Jubilee is her 70-year reign, which is displayed in this picture you can see on the front of Buckingham Palace, with tons of pictures of her from her coronation day all the way up until the present. So here, Mark Landler wrote this on June the 4th this morning. Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee has become a party without its guest of honor. Her absence is a metaphor for the twilight of Britain's second Elizabethan age, an awkward limbo in which the 96-year-old queen still reigns, but has in many ways been replaced by her eldest son and heir, Prince Charles. After appearing Thursday on the balcony at Buckingham Palace and lighting a beacon to celebrate 70 years on the throne, the queen skipped a Thanksgiving service Friday at St. Paul's Cathedral. The palace cited her discomfort and problems with mobility, which have forced her largely out of the public eye. Charles, in what has become a familiar sight, played the understudy. He took his mother's seat at the front of the cathedral, smiling slightly, when the Archbishop of York, Stephen Cottrell, said of the Queen, "We're so glad you're still in the saddle, and we're all glad that there's still more to come." How much more, of course, is a mystery. So there's the picture of her up on the balcony with son, Prince Charles, of course. And that was Thursday. That lingering uncertainty poses as a acute challenge to Charles, who at 73 is already the longest-serving heir in British history. His unspoken transition into the sovereign's role amounts to a kind of soft launch, royal experts said, allowing Britons to get used to the idea of him as king. But with Buckingham Palace averse to designating him a regent, the delineation of his duties can become constitutionally tricky. Prince Charles is now the de facto front of the house head of state. Former royal correspondent for the BBC, Peter Hunt, said, "A frail queen will mostly be a virtual presence in our lives. What's yet to be resolved is what happens if she can no longer carry out her core duties, such as her weekly discussions with the Prime Minister." The 4-day Jubilee concludes on Sunday, which she is skipping the horse show, which was announced this morning. She has a 75% approval rating, according to a recent poll. Her grandson, Prince William, is the next most favored with a 66% approval rating, while Charles is at 50%, a number that's ticked up slightly over the last year. For those who lined the mall in front of Buckingham Palace on Thursday, including admirers from the United States and other countries, the Queen was clearly the main attraction. On Saturday morning, the police briefly evacuated Trafalgar Square after finding a suspicious vehicle, an unnerving reminder of the terrorist attacks that have struck London over the years. Police said the incident was not related to terrorism and the square was reopened. So there they are, all the people packed outside. The Queen has been a constant, but on Friday, the palace said the Queen would also miss the Epsom Derby, a horse race she has attended for decades. That's perhaps an even more painful blow to Elizabeth, a dedicated horsewoman who has entrance into the Derby. The closest she came to a victory was in 1953, not long after her coronation, when Ariel, a racehorse bred by her father, King George VI, finished second. The Queen, the palace said, planned to watch the race on television at Windsor Castle, the home to which she has largely retreated since the coronavirus pandemic first forced her to curtail her public schedule in early 2020. With the Queen missing, the spotlight inevitably swung to the younger generation of royals, but just as inevitably it resurfaced from intergenerational tensions that have spilled out from behind palace walls. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan made the splashiest entrance at St. Paul's on Friday, emerging from their Range Rover to a welling of cheers interrupted by a few boos. Once they were inside, every head turned as the couple walked holding hands through the cathedral's soaring nave to their seats. It was the couple's first royal event since they left Britain in a bitter falling out with the family, particularly with Charles. Harry's father and Harry's elder brother, William. The seating chart spoke to their more peripheral status. They were in the middle of the second row, mixed in with the two daughters of Prince Andrew, the Queen's second son. It also spared them the awkward encounter with Charles and William as they were escorted to their front row seats on the other side of the aisle, something that was clearly not lost on the palace's meticulous choreographers. Andrew, too, was a no-show because the palace said he had tested positive for coronavirus. So this is all the royal family over in London. You can read through this story. I'll link it. But the Queen, what do you think? Unfortunately, I fear that at 97, her time is coming to an end. And if not in 2023, I would imagine, or in 2022, excuse me, I would imagine early 2023, we may have to come to terms with the Queen not being around any longer. She is going downhill in health quick, and 70 years as Queen of England. Unbelievable. That's Queen Elizabeth II and her Platinum Jubilee that's going on in London until tomorrow. It is nighttime there now. They're probably sleeping, ready to celebrate the last day. What do you think about the Queen and her 70 years, her Jubilee? Leave it down below in the comments, and as always, I'll read and respond to as many as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'd really, really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button so I can trigger YouTube's algorithm. And until the next video, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you then.